Okay, Bismillah. Okay, folks, welcome back to another lesson with my GCSE class here. I'm joined by Samia, Rutaba, Zishan, Mr. Hamza, and Saf, and Umar, and Ramiz. Right, off you go. Here's our first Taylor question, which is the easiest Taylor question in the quadratic equation, where we have both the multiplier of x, the coefficient of x is a positive, and the constant then is also a positive. So these, when you have the two pluses here, we say this is the starting level of quadratic equation. What we need to look for is this. We need to look for two numbers that multiply to give you the last number and they add up to give you the middle number. Let's write that sentence down. So let's find, okay, two numbers that multiply to give you the last number and add up to give you the middle number. I'm sorry, everything's in? Yeah. Check it? Yeah. Okay, now, if you look at this equation in terms of its algebraic, in terms of its template, a quadratic equation has an x squared part, an x part, and a constant part, and then we have a y part. Okay, that's the format of a quadratic equation. So in a sense, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to give you the last number. The last number is what? What is the last number? The last number is C in terms of our... Okay, the last number is C. So we're looking at which two numbers multiply to give you the C value, but when you add them up to give you the B value. Okay, right. So what we need to do now is we need to look at what are the factors of 12. So what numbers multiply to give you the plus 12? So let's have a look at that. So we have 12. Okay, two numbers that are to give you plus 12. We can just look at the list. We have 1 and 12.
4 times
1 times by 12. So next one's 2. 2 times by
6. And
then 3 times by
4.
4. At the moment, we are just looking at the positive factors. If you want to look at all of the factors that multiply to give you plus 12, you'd also have to look at minus 1 and minus 12, minus 2 and minus 6, minus 3 and minus 4. But for this particular question, because the middle one's positive as well, we really need to consider the positive ones. But if you want to make an exhaustive list, then that is the full list of all the numbers that multiply to give you plus 12. Okay, you happy with that, folks? Now, two numbers are trying to give you plus 12, but when you add them, they must give us 7. So, Rutaba, can you help me with this one, please? Well, these two don't add up to 7. Note those ones. What about this one?
That does.
That one does. So, what we have here now is our template. Okay. So, when we factorize a quadratic equation, it goes in this double bracket format. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to say x plus 3 and x plus 4. You drop your factors straight into the gaps. Okay? So 3 times by plus 4 will give you plus 12, and when you add them, it will give you 7. Okay? Right. So we check that before we put them in. Yeah? We're happy with that? Now, the next step is we factorize this quadratic equation. We need to solve it. What does it mean to solve a quadratic equation? So when we're looking at this, when you solve a quadratic equation, you're looking for the roots of the quadratic equation, which means the part of the quadratic equation which cuts the x-axis, i.e. when y equals 0. So in this particular instance, if you have two brackets times in to give you 0, either the first bracket is 0 or the second bracket is 0. So we say here, either x plus 3, the first bracket is equal to 0, Don't need it anymore. Okay. Or the second bracket is equal to naught. Now, if you do a quick bit of solving, Mr. Umar, opposite add 3 is?
-3.
So x is equal to -3. Okay, and the next one, we have the opposite add 4 to me is?
X equal to -4.
So x is equal to -4. So that will give us our two solutions. We can actually just underline over here. That's our answer. Okay. Now, on the graph, that's what that would correspond to if you had it graphically. So graphically, it would be the points of the graph which cut the x-axis or even y equals when x is equal to naught. When y is equal to naught. X-axis. Okay, are we happy with that, folks? How we list the factors? The reason why you'll get stuck on these questions or you make mistakes in the question in the exam is when you don't do a complete list of factors and you can't see what the answer is. Okay. Thank you very much. Please come and join us in another video where we change. We have plus and a minus or a minus and a plus and vice versa. Okay.